Hello, family. My name is Trevor.
And I'm Garrett, and this is a podcast for the whole family.
We're creating fun and meaningful conversations for parents and kids.
Okay, so our normal episodes are like 2 minutes, and they're designed just to start fun and meaningful conversations. This is not a normal episode. In this episode, we want to take a few extra minutes just to talk about what is Hello Family and how you're supposed to use it. So before we start in on that, though, how about we share a little bit about who we are, so we're not just two random dudes trying to interject ourselves into your family life. So Trevor, who are you?
Well, I'm Trevor. I've been married to Danielle for the past 10 years, and we have 3 kiddos. We have a 6-year-old, Merrick, 3-year-old, Cohen, and a 10-month-old DJ, and we are just going through life in Corinth, Texas.
Awesome.
Who are you, Garrett?
I'm Garrett, and we're just a little bit behind you guys in the whole family world. I've been married for 8 years to Ellie. We have 2 little boys, Ashton and Cole. Cole is 1 and Ashton is 2. And as a 2-year-old, he's just starting to have these deeper, more intricate conversations, which are super duper fun and make what we're doing here really, really exciting. So let's talk about that next. Why did you want to start this podcast? Because really, this was your idea. Tell us how it developed.
Yeah, so really, I'm making it selfishly because I plan on using it. But the original idea started because Merrick, my 6-year-old, is in 1st grade. And on our way to school, which is about 5 minutes away, I got this game called the Unnamed Game. And it basically is just a bunch of note cards that have a bunch of questions that I ask him on my way to school. So I pick up one of those cards, ask him the question. It's would you rather, or why do you like flying kites, or anything random. And then we talk about that question on the way to school. And then I reward him with a tic tac. And then we go about our day. And so it's kind of led to a lot of really cool conversations that I've really enjoyed. And so I thought I'd encapsulate that in a podcast that I would use. And I hope that other families find useful as well.
Okay, so what I hear you saying at the bottom line, the heartbeat behind this whole thing is relationship, right? We want to have deeper, more intentional relationships with our kids. And I think that's really important because if you've ever tried to have a relationship without talking to somebody, it just doesn't work.
Right.
But in the family dynamic, especially parents and kids, there's relationship no matter what, in the sense that I'm going to be Ashton and Cole's dad regardless of how well I engage with them. But I don't want that kind of relationship, right? I want that deeper relationship that takes an investment. So
yeah.
And I know we talk to our kids regardless, right? If you're living in the same house, you're going to have those conversations. Did you eat breakfast? Go put on clothes, make your bed, and did you do your homework, like all that. But that just scratches the surface. And I think what we're trying to do here is have those more fun and meaningful conversations where parents are really getting to know their kids, and the kids are getting to know their parents by just getting into that more imagination fun realm.
Yeah. And it's like sometimes it's just hard to talk to kids. Like parenting isn't always easy. And so we're hoping that we're really making this for parents to make it easier to engage on that heart level, and hoping this can kind of provide some relief in the crazy. And this is just really important to develop a strong bond and connection with your kids through communication. And so we're hoping that this can really equip them to be able to do that in a way that is really, really good.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So let's talk now about what this podcast is going to look like moving forward.
Yeah, so it's really going to be, each episode is going to be about 1 to 2 minutes. It's going to be twice a week, and really the hope is that it's going to spark conversation. So I know that most other podcasts aren't that short, and so it's a little bit different content, but really it's just hopefully providing you a launching pad into fun and meaningful conversations with your kids. And so viewing it as a launching pad and not feeling like you're boxed in to just talk about that one question, but go where the conversation leads. And we're just hoping that it'll be really helpful for you and your kids. Garrett, do you want to talk about kind of maybe some helpful tips on how to use the podcast, and then maybe different ways that they could, where they should play it or what that should look like?
Yeah. So we've talked about the car ride being a great place, probably the ideal place, especially on the way to school, maybe road trips just to get those conversations started. Could work around the breakfast, lunch, or dinner table during a meal. I think bedtime would be a really good use too.
Yeah,
One
that's
thing we've
good.
learned with young kids is that a bedtime routine is so important for them to get good sleep, just to have some habitual routine habits before bed. So maybe this fits in to a routine at some season. And then another tip would be to let the kid answer first, to not plant your own ideas and creativity in their head for them to just steal your answers, but let them come up with something before you as a parent answers the question.
Yeah, and I think another thing that would be helpful is like providing rewards around like when you are talking to them. So if they do answer the question, providing them a tic tac or do something small, that would be helpful in kind of generating that conversation and making them look forward to this, because that is really the point. Is like relationship is the foundation, and so we want to make sure that like they are looking forward to this time and not like dreading it. Like, this is what mom or dad want me to do.
Right.
Can you talk about like, let's talk about our hopes for the podcast, then we'll kind of wrap it up after that. But what are you hoping for at the end of this, or as we're going about it?
Yeah. So what comes to my mind is that this would just be an effective tool. I think that good parents are really great at finding lots of helpful resources and not just one thing. This isn't going to solve any major problem in parenting, but it could be one of many tools in your tool belt, to be more engaged, intentional parents.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Yeah, I'm really hopeful for intentional conversations. And I'm also hopeful as far as we're going to be sharing a lot of resources that have been helpful to us as we're going through this journey. And then we'll hopefully be kind of curating a lot of that content through our Instagram account specifically, and then our email list. And so feel free to follow us over there or join our email list, as we're going to hopefully just be sending a lot of things that will be helpful along with the podcast, but also like kind of what things have been helpful to us as we're kind of going through this journey together. To wrap up, I think it would just be helpful to talk about kind of, we value your feedback. And so if there's anything that you say like, oh, that's been really helpful, or that's been really cool, or that didn't work, maybe you should never do that again. Maybe just email us at hellofamilypodcast@gmail.com, because we want to hear all those things. Because we might think something's helpful and you don't, or we might be missing something. So we just want to hear from you, because that's really important. And we're just really hopeful that you can join us as we're just trying to be better at engaging our kids in a loving and meaningful way. And so we're just excited to do that with you. And we're just hoping that this tool will really be helpful in that.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, and we're excited to join you in future conversations. See you later.
Bye.